right, well, this is Hector from iwilltry.com, and I'm here Life Time Fitness, one of their many gyms here in Minneapolis, and we're 2 days before the Lifetime Triathlon, and I'm here with one of our athletes that is going to be representing us in Beijing, so Haskins, and she just came off securing her slot in Des Moines, which is only 4 hours away from here. And so Sarah, leading into Lifetime, obviously Hy-Vee was a big priority, but how do you feel about this race, being here before and everything like that?
Yeah, well, this is the only race that I'm doing from now until the games, so I'm really going to use this race as a preparation, and I'm not exactly peaking for this race because I want to be peaking for Beijing, so I've taken a little bit of a rest week for this race, not exactly trained through it, but I just want to go out there and have fun, and it's a non-drafting race, and so it's going to be a very strength race as well, and that's Beijing, I'm going to use those same aspects in that course.
Yeah. How do you feel that not only your preparation but the team's preparation? I know that they're not going to be based in Beijing the whole time. I was talking to Katie about it.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you guys are prepared as far as heat or as far as the pollution or some of the different aspects?
Definitely. I mean, I've been to Beijing twice before, so I know what to expect. You hear rumors that the cars are going to be, people aren't going to be able to drive their cars, the factories are going to be shut down. But you know what I mean? I'm not really expecting anything.
Yeah.
As far as the heat, at least it is summer here now. I think it's always harder to go race in the heat in November. Say you're going to go race in Mexico in November when you're coming out of yourself a colder climate. So I mean, we don't exactly have the humidity in Colorado, but we have the heat, and it's what we do. We travel, we race all over the place, and get used to different climates. And we'll be in Korea for a short time before the race to adjust to the time zone and the climate.
How many so I'm going to say a really quick thing, and I have a picture of this, but at Hy-Vee there were like 15, maybe 20 people with T-shirts on the back that were part of your team.
Right.
So are your parents coming to Beijing, or some of your supporters coming to Beijing?
My parents are, and a few other family members. Not as large of a crowd as Des Moines.
That was awesome.
It was great. 5-hour drive from St. Louis is a bit closer than a trip across the world, but they're a great family, a great support system.
I want to get one question in, and that is, what was your first triathlon? Back in the day, and what was that like? And to think that you did your first triathlon, we've all been there, newbies. We don't know, what clothes to wear, or oh, my legs are feeling so dead after T2, and then to now, be going to the biggest sporting stage in the world, to go to the Olympics for triathlon, for our sport. So, what was your first triathlon? Where was it, and what was it like?
Yeah, my first triathlon was back in 2003, and I competed in St. Louis, Missouri. And it was right after I graduated college, and I just finished running collegiately in college. So that being said, the toughness at a T2.
Right.
I had only been riding for probably 3 weeks. This was in June of that summer. So I remember getting off the bike, and your legs feeling like jello, really wobbly, and I almost fell over, I think, in transition. But then after a mile or so of running, you kind of got your legs underneath you. And so since then, I've just progressed to where I am now. I became a professional in 2005.
Okay.
That following year. Okay.
How did you do in that first race?
In 2003?
Yeah.
I finished second.
Nice.
So I guess it was okay it was a quarter max, which it was a quarter of an Ironman.
Yeah.
So the swim was a 0.8 mile swim, a 28 mile bike, and then a 6.5 mile run.
Because you guys have all that whole series of the Max series. Yeah, I always read about those.
It actually is probably one of the toughest courses I've ever been on, and that was my first race ever.
Wow, that's funny.
It was real. The run is straight up and down hills.
So one of the things I've been doing this year is when I interview pros, is asking them about the Olympics. And so I'm not going to ask you who you think will be on the podium on the women's side, because obviously you're biased. You hope to be on the podium,
right.
And we do have some of the other girls that are going to be going to the Olympics, but on the guys' side, and I know you're obviously a big supporter of the U.S., but from having done those ITU races, from having been to the World Cups, you know, is there somebody that you think might be a surprise, or somebody that you'd be really shocked to not be on the podium on the men's side? Or, you know, everybody talks about Javier, but
Right.
I don't know. What do you think?